Welcome. I am Cloud2K, and for a lot of you, this is the first time you're seeing me on my channel. This is my first time my face has been on my channel, and I'm really excited to be starting a new series every Sunday. I'm going to have a talk show, a report, if you will, where I'm going to talk about the entire past week of basketball and give updates on different things, and then answer some of your guys' questions at the end of each episode. This is the Cloud Report. So yeah, again, this is the first episode, so it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to take some growing pains. We're going to get used to it. What I'm going to do in a month from now is probably going to be way different from what I'm doing right now. And I figured, I had to get a little dressed up for the debut episode. I won't be doing this every episode unless you guys like it. Maybe I will. But first episode, first one on camera, I figured, I had to get a little dressed up. You know what I mean? Look a little good. I haven't worn this stuff in a while, so it's a little uncomfortable, but we're here. We're making it through. But like I said, today, this is the Cloud Report. I'm talking about basketball this past week. And honestly, you guys are seeing this on Sunday, which means the NBA season starts in 2 days on Tuesday night. I'm really excited for that kind of thing. But because this season hasn't started yet, there's not really much to talk about. There's some preseason games. Don't Connect had 20 points himself in the game. I think it was last night or the night before. He's looking great. Bronny, we're still trying to figure out what's going on with Bronny, but it's not that big of a deal right now, honestly. So I figured today it's going to be a little bit more introduction. Now, there is something I want to talk about before we get too deep in here about the NBA. This is the Kawhi Leonard news. So Shams reported, this was yesterday, I believe, that Los Angeles Clippers star Kawhi Leonard is expected to be sidelined for an indefinite period of time to start the NBA season as he rehabilitates the inflammation in his right knee. So Kawhi, if you guys remember or you don't remember, he was sent home from Team USA over the summer with an injury, and we're assuming it is this right knee. I'm pretty sure it's confirmed to be the right knee, and it seems like he's just not really ready to play yet for this season. And the thing about inflammation is you have no idea how long it takes for the inflammation to die down. It could be a week, it could be a month, it could be longer. OG Anunoby for the Knicks last season missed a good amount of time with, I think it was knee inflation for himself, or was it elbow? It was OG Anunoby had inflation last year, was out for a significant amount of time, and they're like not really able to give a timetable because there's not really much you can do with inflammation. It's just something that kind of has to go down on itself. You can do little remedies to try to help, but then again, this is the Clippers. These are professional athletes. They have team doctors that are way better than anything I can do, any of us know. So I'm sure they're doing whatever they can to get Kawhi Leonard back as quickly as possible. And honestly, this Clippers team that last season had James Harden, had Paul George, had Kawhi Leonard, and then this season they're opening their new arena, the Intuit Dome, which is a phenomenal arena. If you haven't seen pictures of that place yet, do yourself a favor, go look it up. It is phenomenal looking. But now Paul George is going. Paul George is part of the Philadelphia 76ers. James Harden, they signed him to a 2-year deal worth $35 million a season for these 2 years. He's 35 years old. It's been a while since we've seen a really prime version of James Harden. And then Kawhi Leonard now out indefinitely. It's got to be a real bummer to see Ballmer to be opening up your new arena. This is the first time the Clippers have had their own arena. And 2 of your 3 stars from last season aren't going to be there. And your third star, I mean, again, it's 35-year-old James Harden. So it's like, I don't really know how much that's going to help the team, to be honest. Hey, we might see retro James Harden. We might see him average 30 points the first month of the season until Kawhi Leonard comes back. We don't know. That is something James Harden, I still think, has the capability to do. But really, the past couple of teams he's been on, whether it's been Brooklyn, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant, or in Philadelphia with an emerging Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris was taking shots, and then, of course, Joel Embiid, he really hasn't been the centerpiece of a team in a long time. So we're going to see him be the centerpiece of this team to start the season at least. I mean, he's got guys like there, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann is still there. They have some young guys. Zubac is still there. Like, they have pieces that I think they could be serviceably okay for the Kawhi Leonard. Let's just say let's put a month time frame on it. I think they could be serviceable for about a month until Kawhi Leonard comes back. But if this is something that nags Kawhi the entire season and he plays less than 40 games, this team is not going to be good. And with how deep the West is, I think there's a chance they completely miss the playoffs, maybe even miss the play, because you have teams like the Houston Rockets that are going to be fighting for a seed. The San Antonio Spurs, obviously, with Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes they brought in, we're expecting a big jump from Victor Wembanyama this season, could take in a play-in spot. And then you have a team like the Memphis Grizzlies who bring back Ja Morant. Jaren Jackson's hopefully going to be healthy this year. Desmond Bane hopefully going to be healthy this year. And Zach Edey has looked phenomenal in preseason. It looks like his college game for the most part is able to transition to the NBA. So that the Grizzlies are another team that weren't there last year that could jump in. And a team like the Clippers could very, very easily fall out of the playoffs completely. And again, this is only speculating that he's not going to play because we all know Kawhi Leonard is, when healthy, still a top player in this league. He's proven that time and time again. But it's getting to the point now where I see some people on Twitter saying he should retire. I don't really know if I'd go that far. But I mean, there's definitely got to be something you look into, the fact that he just can't seem to play. Like, last year was his healthiest season in a long, long time. Let me pull up the stats here. I should have did this before we started. He gets hurt in the playoffs. He has that injury in the playoffs. Okay, yeah, last year played 68 games, averaged about 34 minutes a game, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 3.5 assists. But before that, 52 games, 57, 60 in Toronto, and then 9 in San Antonio. So this was the first time he played 60 games since 2018, 2019 on the Toronto Raptors, and they didn't make it out of the first round. This Clippers team, I think we can all agree, this Clippers team with the Paul George, Kawhi Leonard Clippers team has just ended up being a huge failure. But if I'm being honest, I don't really blame the Clippers for it. Like, you could use revisionist history to be like, oh, you guys shouldn't have made that trade. But if you look at it back at that time, it was like, yeah, 2019, 2020, you had a guy like Kawhi Leonard who just came off a championship run with the Toronto Raptors that a lot of people consider the best player in the NBA, saying, hey, I want to come play for the Clippers. I want to come play for you guys. And I want to bring in my friend, Paul George, who just came off a season where he was top 3 in MVP voting. It seemed like a no-brainer. And I think you do that 10 times out of 10. And I think, honestly, if you say you're not going to do like that, like if you're like, oh, I wouldn't do that, you're lying. Nobody could have assumed this team would be like this big of a failure. They made one conference finals run, but that's it. That's all they've done. Lou Wills made comments about the team. Montrezl Harrell made comments about the team, and Paul George. That's all speculation stuff. We don't know for sure, so I don't want to get too deep into that. But before we get too far, I want to have a commercial break.
Oh, man.
Hey, you.
Who? Me?
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just kind of bored right now.
Do you like sports?
Yeah, I like sports.
How about podcasts?
I mean, yeah, who doesn't listen to a podcast nowadays?
Then you should check out Time Out with J&G. Check out Time Out with J&G every Wednesday as they give their expert opinions and professional picks on NFL, NBA, and college football. Anything you could want, they do. Check it out on the screen now. Let's go.
Whoa, this podcast is awesome. Thanks, weird voice.
That was our commercial break. Did we pay for that? No? Oh, thank God. Oh, hey, so we're back from that commercial break with that beautiful man. And there, like I said in the intro, I want to do some questions, like viewer questions. Now, this is kind of a spur of the moment like series that I started to do. So honestly, I don't really have questions from you guys yet. I'm gonna put something out on Twitter. Follow my Twitter, Cloud2K, like YouTube, something like that. So you guys can answer, and your questions can be answered every Sunday. Yeah, whatever you want to talk about, NBA related, or I guess other sports related if you want to too. This show's gonna be mainly NBA, but if you want to ask me something about football, NFL, college football, I'll answer that too if the question is good enough, or I think I want to answer that. But because again, I'm gonna just do my own question this week, and it's gonna be about the Clippers because I figured they can just be the theme of this first episode, and it's just gonna be like, how good can the Clippers be? And honestly, I don't know. I just spent the past like 5 minutes talking about it, where it's like they could potentially, if a healthy Kawhi Leonard comes in missing, like let's just say a month again, like they come in, I think this team could be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference. But if they miss Kawhi Leonard for a good portion of the season, if not all the season, I think they have a very, very big chance of missing the play-in entirely. Then again, we haven't seen what James Harden looks like. James Harden could come in, look like his former MVP self, or at least maybe a portion of his former MVP self, and he's taken a team with this similar talents to the playoffs. I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if that's really something I'm expecting to happen with this team, but I definitely wouldn't put it past them. So where do I think they can be? Realistically, going off of what we know about Kawhi Leonard's injury history, I think they're going to be a play-in team. I think Denver, the Thunder, you obviously have Dallas, you have Minnesota, you have Memphis, you have the Phoenix Suns, you have, I know I'm forgetting plenty, you Lakers, the Warriors, the Rockets. Like, you have so many teams out west that are going to be projectably over 500 this year, that this Clippers team, with their injuries and kind of just losing the talent in the offseason, I just don't Don't know. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, that's my question for this week. So again, follow me on Twitter. See if you can kind of think of a question for NBA, NFL, college football related, whatever, and I'll answer it. It'll be up on the screen when it gets answered. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I know it's a quick thing. 10 to 15 minutes is kind of what I'm looking for these episodes to be. I don't want them to be super, super long. I guess as you guys are going to see this on Sunday, I have videos coming out this week. Let me know what you guys thought. This past week, I did a Hornets rebuild. I did an 82-0 challenge, and then I did a Planet Coaster video. You guys really liked the first Planet Coaster video, so I'm hoping you guys really enjoy that series. It's been a lot of fun to play some different games other than 2K on the channel. And if there's any other games you guys want to see me play, put that down in the comments below, and I'll definitely be able to check it out. Or if there's teams from 2K you want me to rebuild or challenge you want me to do, put that in the comments below too. I'm always excited to check that out. And you know what? This is a series that I think is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a way for me to kind of get in front of the camera and talk, other than my podcast, of course, Time Out with J&G, which that really, really bad, shitty commercial break was the sponsor for. But me and my friend Levi, he's been on the channel a few times before. We talk about, again, college football, NFL, basketball, college basketball a little bit too. And just, you kind of get our takes and things, but I get more detailed, fleshed out answers on that channel versus a video like this. So if you want to hear more about what I think about different things, go check that out. And I appreciate you guys checking out the first ever Cloud Report. And I'll see you guys next Sunday. Peace.